So there was a place in ancient Palestine called the SHEFFLA. Now that place was a beautiful place and also a very important strategic point. Over history, countless battles have been fought for control of the region, and the battle we all know of is between David and Goliath. The Palestinians had enough of King Saul's leadership, so they began moving towards the mountain ridge so they can split Saul's kingdom in two. So King Saul gathered his men and headed to confront the Palestinians. Both sides, the Palestinians and the Israelites, didn't dare to move. Attacking meant going down the hill and then making a suicidal way up the enemy's ridge. So after a while, the Palestinians had enough of waiting for the Israelites to attack. The Palestinians were seeking a one-on-one fight, and that's because their fighter was genetically gifted. Now, in those days, it was common for two sides to choose one warrior to avoid the heavy bloodshed. So they sent Goliath, their greatest warrior, who was above 6'9". He was wearing a bronze helmet, full body armor, a javelin, a spear, and a sword. But among the Israelites, no one dared to fight Goliath until David showed up. But David was a sheep herder. He had no chance against a giant like Goliath. But still no one was willing to fight Goliath, so David was chosen. King Saul tried giving him armor, but it was too heavy, so David picked up 5 stones off the ground and headed to confront Goliath. Goliath was expecting a warrior like himself to come up and fight him. Now, Goliath was insulted. He told David, "Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks and stones?" So David puts 1 stone into a sling and fires at Goliath exposed forehead. Goliath instantly falls down. David runs towards him, takes his sword, and cuts his head off. Now, why did David win? In ancient times, there are 3 types of soldiers. Armed men on horses, foot soldiers who were wearing armor and carrying swords and shields, and the archers and slingers. Now, the sling was so powerful that the Romans would even have a special set of tongues made just to remove stones that have been stuck in a soldier's body. And in today's world, the sling's power can be compared to a bullet. So Goliath was a foot soldier, and if the Israelites would have put a foot soldier against Goliath, they would most likely lose. And that's because Goliath was not a regular foot soldier. He was a giant, no one would even compare to him. But David was his perfect opponent. In fact, Goliath didn't stand a chance against David. Goliath with all his armor could barely move, while David could move freely, and in just a couple seconds shot his opponent down. So this book was written by Malcolm Gladwell, and it's filled with historical stories that show that when the weaker side doesn't fight according to their opponent rules, they're much more likely to win the fight. And that could be countries in war or even basketball games. If a weaker side fights in a different way that expected them to fight, they are much more likely to win.